Imagine playing baseball for 13 years and never once popping out to the catcher, pitcher, or first baseman. That's not a glitch, that's Joey Votto. And that stat is the perfect gateway into understanding who he really was. A hitter with no wasted swings, no cheap outs, and the sixth best error adjusted OBP in the entire history of the MLB. Joey Votto isn't the first name people throw around when they talk about all time great hitters, but he should be.
There's nothing bigger or better in Canada than the Red Surge. And for you to put my picture photoshopped next to Brett Michaels, it's not good. It is not good.
A former MVP, a 17-year Reds icon, and one of the toughest outs of the last half century. Votto built a career on something almost no hitter of his era mastered: complete control of the strike zone. And because of this approach, he became one of the best on base machines baseball has ever seen. Throughout Votto's 17-year career, he posted a 4.9 on base percentage, which ranks 42nd all time. That alone is elite, but it gets better. Votto had 4 seasons where he walked more than he struck out, which is something almost no modern hitter has ever done. He was one of the toughest hitters in baseball to get to chase. In some seasons, his chase rate dropped as low as 13%, which is less than half the league average. According to StatCast, he ranked in the 99th percentile in chase rate in 2017, 13.2%, and the 100th percentile in 2018, 13.1%. Since StatCast tracking began in 2015, Votto's average chase rate has been about 18%, while the league average hovered around 28%. For comparison, Juan Soto's career chase rate is 17%. Across his career, Votto accumulated 1,365 walks, which ranks top 40 all time, and more than superstars like Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, Ichiro, and Cal Ripken Jr. Although these numbers are very impressive, they are nowhere as impressive when we use error-adjusted stats that accounts for differences in league's talent pool size and competitive depth over time. If we look at the top 10 error-adjusted OBP leaders with a minimum of 3,000 plate appearances, Joey Votto ranks 6th all time at 433. That's 36 spots higher than his raw OBP ranking, and that puts him above names like Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, and Bryce Harper. And if you raise the minimum to 8,000 plate appearances, eliminating the Soto, Trout, Judge small sample monsters, Votto shoots up to 3rd all time, top 3 ever. That's how ridiculous Votto's ability to reach base actually was. Another thing I looked at was Barry Bonds' error-adjusted on-base percentage up until the 1998 season, before the league's offensive environment changed. That number comes out to 412. And when you put that next to Joey Votto's career error-adjusted OBP of 433, you start to understand just how generational Votto's ability to reach base actually was. Normally, Votto's career baseball reference WAR puts him at 156 all time, which he misses the top 100 by a good amount. But if we use error-adjusted BREF WAR, that would rank Votto 90th all time, which puts him in the top 100 comfortably. There's an argument that he's a top 100 player of all time. A little fun comparison to get some people riled up and mad is comparing Ted Williams with Joey Votto. Through a special error adjustment that accounts for the low rate of left-handed pitchers that Williams faced, we see that Joey Votto resembles a version of Ted Williams with less longevity and less power. Their OBP, batting average, and walk rates are remarkably close, demonstrating Votto's elite plate discipline. What about his error-adjusted baseball reference WAR in comparison to other first basemen in Cooperstown? When you line up only Hall of Fame first basemen with Joey Votto ranks 7th all time. That puts him in the same tier as inner circle names like Frank Thomas, Jim Thome, Jeff Bagwell, Eddie Murray, and Willie McCovey. By error-adjusted WAR, Joey Votto isn't borderline. He's already a top-tier Hall of Fame first baseman. And all of this becomes even more impressive when you realize Joey Votto basically reinvented himself at the end of his career. Around 2020 and 2021, his bat speed dipped, the production fell off, and he even got benched. Most hitters at 37 just accept that it's over. Votto didn't. He rebuilt his swing from the ground up with a more upright stance, higher hands, bigger leg kick, and a pull-heavy damage-first approach. And somehow, at age 37, he hit 36 home runs, the second most of his career. His barrel rate spiked, his hard hit numbers jumped, he created a second prime out of nowhere. I remember him sitting on waivers in my fantasy league, completely unstartable for years. Then in 2021, he went nuclear. I picked him up just to see what would happen for my flex spot, and he ended up being one of the best moves I've ever made to this day. Very few players in MLB history reinvent themselves that late. That just shows how smart Joey Votto was. So when you put everything together, the raw OBP dominance, the error-adjusted greatness, the elite plate discipline, and a late career comeback, the Hall of Fame case writes itself. He didn't hit 3,000 hits or 500 homers, but those are milestone stats, not value stats. Votto mastered the strike zone better than almost anyone. 409 career OBP, 6th all-time in error-adjusted OBP, 3rd all-time with 8,000 plate appearances, top 100 in error-adjusted WAR, and top 10 first baseman ever. Votto should get into Cooperstown eventually when he's eligible with ease. Joey Votto didn't overpower the game, he outsmarted it. For 17 years, he was an on-base machine, one of the toughest outs in baseball, and a master of the strike zone in an era built to make hitters fail. So when the conversation turns to the greatest hitters ever, don't forget the guy who refused to get out. Joey Votto wasn't just underrated, he was one of the best pure on-base hitters the sport has ever seen.